So let's look at what happens in many conversations and why things go awry. Let's say you're here with somebody else and you hear, there's my ear, you hear one thing. It looks like a clamshell. You hear one thing. This person is saying something, but inside you, you are picking up another signal. This signal is different from this. This one says, wait, something's going on. But here, you're listening and the words make sense. All right, so cognitively, the words make sense. But inside you, something is not, your alarm is going off or something is off, but you're not sure what it is. And so, if this person says or doesn't acknowledge there's something else going on in here, if there's stuff going on in here, which there's always stuff going on in us, isn't there always? If this person is ignoring this and just saying, hey, pay attention to the words, and you're like, okay, I'll pay attention to the words. I got this. I got it. And both of you aren't, or many of you aren't connecting in here, then that's where the problems usually come. What happens when we do this? When we don't pay attention and then we end up getting fighty and upset, and we're upset over here. And it gets to be messy, doesn't it? Well, let's break it apart a little bit. I was talking to somebody recently, and this is what we began to see. So let's say I talk a lot about parallel lives, here and now. I'm here and now up here. This is this moment, and this is the past. And often I talk about, that there's a time capsule going on. And it sounds like one simple thing, right? But often a time capsule is made up of multiple impressions of experience. Like, I'm going to get in trouble. This one might be trouble. This one, I'm not doing it right. This one might be, you're going to reject me. You're not going to love me anymore. You're going to leave me alone. And so what happens is we're here doing our thing, and the other person says something to us, right? So this other person is here saying something to us. Sorry about my people there. So something is going on in the here and now. Words come across and words are received. But there's all this undertow inside. So let's say, and this is another person who also has time capsules, maybe multiple time capsules. But of course, there's often little things within each time capsule. I'm talking to you and you're saying some words. Okay, got the words. I understand the words. But something in me is saying, I don't know. And if I'm listening to that something there, I might pause and say, wait, let me just check out what this has to do with. But if there's too much going on in here and there's no time to slow down, what happens is we get embroiled here, disregarding all this. But this is where the real action is. This is where you're saying something to me and I'm hearing it as I'm doing it wrong, I'm not doing it right, you're this, that, something's going on. And if I've done the work of parsing it all out, I'm beginning to link it all together. I'm able to say, oh, I'm activated here because I'm not doing it right once again. Well, maybe I do a pretty good job, or I try to do a good job, or sometimes it works and sometimes I don't do a good job. Sometimes I make a mistake, but I can repair the mistakes here. Maybe I'm trained myself how to be collaborative and make relational repair. But in the past, I couldn't. In the past, when something went wrong, it went really wrong. So I have a lot of activation maybe about what's going on in the past, especially some of these charged spots. And so if I have a moment there where I can actually, I don't have another pen here, take a moment and create a period, a break inside, a space, so that I can listen to myself and say, oh, wow, that's what happened. This is how undigested it was. This is how painful it was whenever I made a mistake or did it wrong or didn't do it right. And I would get in trouble or something. If I begin to remember all the many series of examples that happened this year, last year, the year before, 2020, before COVID, 2019, all the way down to, 50 years ago, however long it is. If I'm aware, like, oh my God, look at what happens when I get freaked out and overwhelmed, then I can pause and give myself a break and say, okay, I'm here. I'm not here. I've made changes. I've done things differently. I don't have to get swept up in the tide of this. I can actually pause each of these little tiny moments and let these begin to process through and link together this with this and how this fit. Maybe they don't all have to fit together, but when I link them together, then I can actually start linking this moment with that moment. It gets kind of messy in there, doesn't it? But that's the experience. If I can pause and put these pieces together, have a little moment to breathe and calm down and not get caught up in the swirl of it, then things can begin to calm down because I'm here connected with myself, aware of what's going on. We call this metacognitive monitoring. When I can track what's going on inside, I can build my capacity to say, oh, wow, okay, this is what led to this. This is what's leading to the upset. I can pause it. I can put a break on it, slow it down, and let myself breathe and stay in relationship here while at the same time I'm attuning to myself down here. Love to hear what you're thinking. Give me your thoughts, and we'll go from there.